Imagine a nation held in standstill, united in cheers and roars. That is the power of football in Nigeria, where millions of people erupt in passionate support for their beloved Super Eagles. With the appointment of Finidi George as the new head coach of the Super Eagles, a new chapter has just begun. As a data analyst and a diehard football fan, I have decided to leverage on data so that I can give insights and advice to Coach Finidi. So I hypothesized that many Nigerians will want Finidi George to build a long-lasting team, a team that will perform at the very top level and keep winning laurels for many years to come. This made me explore data to see which teams have been able to achieve this in the past. That is, which teams have been able to perform at very, very top level for a very long time. So I ended up picking 3 teams. Join me as we delve into the analysis. So I ended up picking 3 teams. The Super Eagles of 1994, Nigeria Super Eagles of 1994, the Indomitable Lions of 2000, and the Egypt Pharaohs of 2006. Now, why did I pick these 3 teams? The Super Eagles of 1994 really did very well, and they soared so high that at a point in time they achieved 5th on the FIFA ranking, which is arguably the highest any African nation has achieved. And they were able to perform at the very, very top level for almost a decade. Unfortunately, they could not defend the cup which they won in 1994. They couldn't defend it in South Africa because the late General Sani Abacha did not allow the Nigerian team to go to South Africa to participate. And then CAF banned Nigeria subsequently. So we also could not attend Burkina Faso 98. But when the team made a comeback to the tournament in 2000, they were able to get to the final. That's 6 years later after 94. They were able to get to the final and they lost on penalty shootout to the Indomitable Lions of Cameroon. So that team was very good and they were still good even up until 2002. They lasted a long time. Good. Another team is Cameroon. The Indomitable Lions of Cameroon won the Nations Cup, like I said, in Nigeria in the year 2000. And they were also able to defend it 2 years later in Bamako, Mali, when they played Senegal in the final. Then another team is Egypt. The Pharaohs. The Pharaohs really ruled Africa for about 6 years. They won the Nations Cup in 2006, 2008, and 2010. So these teams have longevity in them. Now let's take a look at the data for each of the teams. The Nigerian team of 94 had a median age of 25.5. Average age of the team was 24.9. Sorry. Let's put this. Mode age of the team was 26. The youngest player in that team as at that time was Sunday Olise, who was age 19 at the time of the tournament. And the oldest player in the team in 1994 was the late Stephen Keshi, as at that time he was age 32. Now let's look at the composition of the team. The team composes of 32% midfielders, 32% defenders, and 13% goalkeepers, and then 23% forward or attackers or strikers, if whichever name you decide to call them. The number of players above the average age by the position, that's above this average age of 24.9. Five of the defenders were above the average age. Three of the forwards and the three goalkeepers were above the average age of 24.9, and one midfielder was above the age of 24.9. This shows that the team had a young midfield, a young crop of midfielders. Now let's look at the average age of position. Again, here we can see the average age of the defenders was 26.5. For the forward, the average age was 24.6. The goalkeepers, 28, and the midfielders, 22.14. Let's quickly move to the next team. Sorry. Oh, shit. Sorry. Yeah, for Cameroon, the median age of Cameroon was 23. The average age is 22.9. Mode age of the team was 23. The youngest players, they had three young players who were age 18 as at that time, namely Samuel Eto'o, a forward, uh, Timothy Atuba, a defender, and Innocent Hamanga, uh, also a defender, age 18. The oldest player in the team, Patrick Mboma, a forward, was age 29. The number of players above the average age of 22.9, they had five defenders, two forwards, two goalkeepers, four midfielders, four midfielders. Now let's look at the average age of players by position. The average age of the defenders was 21.9, for the forward 23, and for the goalkeeper 25, and midfielder 24. Let's move. For Egypt, the median age of the team was 27. The average age of the team is 26.95. Mode age of the team is 22. They had two young players in that team. Ahmed Fati, a defender, age 21, and Muatas Eno, a midfielder, also age 21. The oldest player in the team was Hossam Hassan, a forward, age 39. Number of players above the average age, that's the average age of 26.9. We had three defenders, three forward, three goalkeeper, three midfielders. Now let's look at the average age of players by position. The defenders 26, for forward 27.7, for the goalkeepers 29.6, that's 29.7, and for the midfielders 26.1. So let's move. Okay, so let's compare. Let's also look at the current Super Eagles team. This is the team that played at the last Nations Cup. The composition of the team was made of 20% midfielders, 36% defenders, 12% goalkeepers, 32% forwards. Now the median age was 27. The average age is 26.52. The mode age is 27. The youngest player in that team was Raphael Onyedika, a midfielder, age 22, although we didn't see much of him during the tournament. Also, the oldest player in that team is Ahmed Musa, 20, age 31, though he also did not really take part on the field of play. The number of players above the average age by position, we had five defenders who were above the average age of 26.52. uh, 4 forwards, 2 goalkeepers, that is 2 out of the 3 goalkeepers were above this average age of 26.52, and 2 midfielders were also above the age. Now, the average age by the position for the defenders, the average age is 27.1. For the forward, 26.72. Goalkeepers, 26.6.7, and the midfielder, 25. Now, let's compare all the teams together. Now, let's really try to make sense of the data. Good. So here we can see for the maximum age of the teams, the team for Egypt 2006 had the oldest player when we compare with all the other teams. They had a player, I mentioned Hassan Hossan was about 39 years old. So they had the oldest player. For the team composition, here we can see for the 94 teams, the midfield and defenders, Nigeria almost had a balance uh, for the 2 departments. I think this is largely due to the pattern, the style of football employed by the coaches. So Nigeria is usually known for attacking football. So that was why they had more of midfielders and forwards who play through the flanks. For the Cameroonian team is known for um, being very solid, focusing more on defense. And here we can also see that they had more defenders in their team than any other team. The Egypt team, almost the 3 departments are almost balanced. So Fini the judge will need to adjust his own style and to make sure that he chooses the type of players he wants to invite. Now, the average age of the team. Here we can see that the Cameroon team of 2000 had the lowest average. So that team was pretty young, and that was one of the reasons why they did very well the following Cup of Nations. So if we look at the current team, our average age is already higher than that of Cameroon and the 94 team. So this means Fini the George will need to look for younger players to bring in more young players so that this average age can come down a bit and we can have more younger players. I would suggest that he works very closely with the age group coaches, that is the coaches of the under 17, under 21, under 20, and under 23, so that you can select the exceptional players who are there and integrate them into the Super Eagles. So we can have players who will play in the Super Eagles for a very long time, just like we had Sunday Ulise, who was only 19 years old in 1994, and we were able to reap the reward because he played for a very long time before hanging his boots. Now, if we look at the number of players above the average age by department, we can see that for most of the teams, they had more of defenders who were above the average age. Yeah, to add context to this, the average age of, sorry, to add context to this, the age at which players perform at their peak varies based on their playing position. Forwards and midfielders tend to blossom and peak at a younger age when compared with goalkeepers and defenders. So this explains why we have more older players playing in the defensive position. Again, like I mentioned, the average age of Nigeria team needs to go down a bit, because if we look at the Brazil squad of 98, remember this squad got to the final at the World Cup in 1998, and 4 years later, they were still able to get to the final and win the cup in 2002. So as at 1998, the average age was 23.2. If we compare that to Nigeria, Nigeria is 26.52, which is a lot higher. So Finidi George needs to inject a lot of young players into this team to bring down the average age. Again, Nigerians will have to be patient. Will have to be patient with Finidi George. If we look, the coach of Egypt 2006, Hassan Shihata, was appointed in 2004. So that was 2 years before 2006. So it took him 2 years to build that team before they started doing very, very well. Again, Pierre Lechantre, the coach of Cameroon, the Cameroonian team of 2000, was also appointed in 1999. So he had a year to prepare and build that team. Again, Clemens Westerhoff, the coach of Nigeria's 94 Tingad Great team, was appointed in 1989. So he had 5 years before to build that team. So like they say, good things take time. Rome wasn't built in a day. Nigerians will need to give Finidi George some time, and he also should also make sure that he integrates a lot of young players that will play in that team for a long time. So we don't have to be going to the drawing board to start all over every now and then. Thank you very much.